All right, we're moving into subtracting integers. So it's really similar to addition, and we're going to see how that applies and how it works more, because subtracting can throw a little bit of a curveball, but it's good to take it slow and we can do it. So remember to pause the video. We're going to have a lot of practice at the end of this to make sure you're getting it. So pause the video, check your work, and then keep moving through it. And then at the end, make sure you're focusing. So table of contents. Subtracting integers, we're on page 17. All right, I've already pre-written some stuff and just want you to let you know we're going to have 4 examples at the top because the practice at the bottom will not take much room at all. So these 4 practice will take more room. Notice it's about 2/3 of the way down. So it's not a half, it's a little more than a half because we're going to draw some stuff in there. So just FYI, and this is our key. I'm going to be using red and blue. So if you have those colors, that would be amazing. Or like a pink or just something. If you have pencil, that's fine. Just make sure it's a plus and a minus. And then you're good to go. So here is our title. We're going to be making some Edgewood Math Amazing Soup. And then we're going to do 4 steps to making that recipe. And then we'll do some practice. So these 4 steps, again, they're about 2/3 of the way down on my paper. And let's go. So, I want my blue and my red, and I'll do gray. Okay, so I'm going to start in my cauldron of soup. So I'm going to make a soup cauldron for all of these. These all look so great, you know? There we go. All right, so in my soup cauldron, I'm going to start with 5 hot chips. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I'm going to remove 4 hot chips. So that means I'm going to take this one, cross it off. That's 1, -2, -3, -4. And how many hot chips are left over? 1 positive. So the math sentence or the number sentence for this would be starting with 5 positives. I am subtracting 4 positives, and I'm remaining with 1 as my answer at the end. Okay, I'm going to box my answers so I can find it quicker. Number 2, I'm going to start with 3 cold chips. So 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to remove 6 cold chips. But wait, do I have 6 cold chips? So I need to add to this soup enough things so that I can remove 6 cold chips. But whenever we add a cold chip, I also have to add a hot chip. Because remember, what's a -1 and a +1? What do they make together? 0. So I can't change the recipe, but I can add in nothing. It's just a fancy way of saying nothing. So I have to do this to make 6 cold chips. Okay, so now I've started with the 3 cold chips. I've now added nothing, and that means that I now have 6 cold chips that I could take away. Oh, I added way too much, didn't I? I added way too much. Okay, because I want to take out 6 cold chips only. So I'm going to take out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Did I add some extra stuff to my soup I didn't need? Yeah. Okay, cross that out. We didn't need that. Take out those because they make 0 anyway. We don't need them. So that makes 0, 0, 0. Poof, they're gone. But what's left over? 3 positives. So my number sentence will be, I'm starting with 3 negatives, so -3, and then I'm removing or taking away 6 cold chips, which would be -6. And when I do that, how much is left over? 3. Perfect. So it's okay if you end up adding extra stuff to your soup because it just makes 0 and goes away anyway. Because a negative and a positive, poof, 0, 0, 0. We're good. Okay. Next cauldron. So I'm going to start with 7 cold chips. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I want to remove 4 hot chips. Do I have any hot chips to take away? No. So I need to add them. Just like before, I can't change the recipe, but I can add nothing, or fancy way of putting nothing. So I need to remove 4 hot chips. So I only need 4 of these. There we go. Now I have 4 hot chips that I can take away. So let's take them away. 1, 2, 3, 4. So what's left over? Count them up. How many is that? So if I start with 7 cold chips, so -7, and I remove 4 hot chips, that's 4 positives, that will leave me with a -11. You should count 11 cold chips in our soup. All right, next one, starting with 8 hot chips. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And I want to remove 6 cold chips. Pause here. Can you do it on your own? So if you removed 6 cold chips, you'd have to add 6 sets of fancy nothing. And when you remove your 6 cold chips, you will have 8 minus -6, and you should end up with 14 positives because you're taking away those 6 hot chips, or 6 cold chips. Okay, I'm going to pause the video. All right, so you can pause the video here to write down everything. So we're going to do these practice ones. I'm going to do 2 of them with you. The rest I want you to pause, do on your own, and then hit play. So in the first 2, we're going to do this subtraction. When you get bigger numbers for subtraction, your goal is to keep, change, opposite. Keep, change, opposite. Say that with me. Keep, change, opposite. So we're going to keep the first number. That's the 2. I'm going to change. We'll do purple. I'm going to change the operation. So from subtraction, it's now addition. And then I'm going to make it the opposite. So what's the opposite of -2? +2. And now my new equation is 2 plus +2, which is what? 4. Perfect. Okay, next one. I'm going to keep actually, no, I'm not going to do that one. I'm going to skip that one. I'm going to do C. So I'm going to keep the 9. I'm going to change the subtraction into addition. And then what's the opposite of +17? -17. And now what's 9 plus -17? So look back at our notes. If I started with 9 hot chips and I remove 17 cold chips, what will that get you? This should get you -8. Yeah, I wrote that right, -8. Okay, pause the video. Can you figure out the answers to the rest? All right, so you should have 8 plus +2, which gets you 10, boxing your answer. -3 plus a -3, which will get you -6. -6 plus a +6, which gets you 0. -10 plus a -12, which is -22. 32 plus a +6, which will get you 38. So those should be your answers. And now we have one last thing that you do not have to write. I just want you to look at. Okay. Ignore what the question of what the range means. We're looking at just this picture up here, and then we're going to figure out which continent has the greater range of elevations. Range is the difference between them. So if I take 6,198 meters and I subtract -86 meters because it's below sea level, what will that get me? And then what's 5,895 taking away a -155 meters? So think about what that would look like. Pause the video. There's no text box there. Okay, I'm going to add a text box here. So if I do 6,198 and I take away -86, so I'm going to keep, change this to addition, and do the opposite of -86, which is +86. So what is 6,198 plus 86? I'm going to do this in my pen over here. So 6,198 plus 86. 4, 17, 18, 2, 6. So it should be 6,284 meters. Okay, that's the biggest difference from North America's highest mountain to its lowest point below sea level. Okay, Africa, I'm going to do the same thing. 5,895 minus a -155 keep the first one, change this to addition, take the opposite, and now what's this? What is 5,895 plus 155? 0, 15, 10, 6,050. 6,050 meters. So which continent has the greater range of elevations from tallest mountain to lowest point? That would be North America. Awesome. Okay, so that was our last thing. Were you focused? And can you now say with confidence you can subtract integers? We're going to do more practice together, but just make sure that can you subtract a little bit on your own? Can you do that on your own? Can you use your notes? Can you make a cauldron of soup to help you? All right. Have a great day. Bye.